You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike postgame show. What is going on? Matt O'Leary with Mitch Anderson. Mitch, I am hot after this game, as it feels like the Islanders just got hosed with losing a point in a game where it looks like they should have won this in regulation. Controversial goal, usually how this works in the postgame. We go through, we talk about each goal, we go chronological. That'd be really dumb in this postgame because the story of the game has to be this controversial disallowed goal due to goalie interference, Mitch.
Yeah, it's the story of the game because the Islanders had the win. I understand there's more context than just that, and some will say like, well, they didn't play very well, and you definitely have a case of that. But the win was in the bag, and
We'll
then
get to that.
Yeah, and they call no goal on the ice. This is what matters the most: is that they call no goal on the ice on this play here. Watch this ticky-tacky shit.
So we'll just let this loop as we are talking about it, but I've seen people try to say, well, Merzlikins is still in his crease, and that's when the contact starts. But the problem that I have is Merzlikins initiates contact, pushes him forward, and then it's seconds after Palmieri with the tip, and it's way outside the crease by the time he's actually making the deflection at this point.
To me, it hinges on he initiated the contact. I understand Palmieri is at the top of the crease, which he's allowed to be. You're allowed to be there, but Merzlikins comes out and shoves him out of the way. So, if he doesn't do that, then he's set. You see that constantly. The goalie and players are almost touching all the time. What the hell are we doing here?
Just get rid of going to the front of the net, I suppose. Everything's going to be outside shots. There's no screens anymore. We're not allowed. You have to stand at least 5 feet out from the crease at all times. Because if you look, Palmieri's skates actually never enter the crease. Right there, he's outside the crease. Yep. And yes, Merzlikins is still there. But once again, Mitch, who's the one who initiated contact? Was it Palmieri? Or was it Elvis Merzlikins who is pushing him away, and that as the reason for why he's out of position? Plus, even if he never did touch him, is he catching that anyway with the glove after that deflection? No. So it should have been a moot point, but instead they rule it no goal on the ice. And then after the review, they needed obviously conclusive evidence to completely overturn it. And you were never going to get that on a play so close like this.
Right. And that's the key thing here, is that because it was deemed no goal on the ice, as Brendan laid out on the broadcast, you have to have conclusive evidence that it's not. I think there is. I think it's clear that there's no goalie interference here, but the league doesn't deem that. The league clearly thought, well, the refs and the league thought that this was not goalie interference, or there was goalie interference, or there at least wasn't enough to say, I 100% believe that there isn't. I just don't understand how the hell this can be called goalie interference. Like, I see Steve here talking about the exact same play transpired against Sorokin 2 games ago, and it was deemed no goalie interference. The same less aggressive version happens, and it's interference. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I'm pulling up a couple post-game quotes from the players that I wanted to share as well, because Palmieri was pissed. Bo Horvat, who's been one of the more vocal leaders, upset as well. We'll start with Bo Horvat's, who said that was, quote, one of the worst goal calls I've ever seen. Followed up with the quote from Kyle Palmieri, called it fucking embarrassing. Says he felt like refs couldn't wait to wave the goal off.
They couldn't. Right, like Bill put it into the Patreon chat, or into the Discord, saying like, just have it count and then review it after the fact. I don't know if that's necessarily legal per the rules, but you could imagine that Dean Evison would challenge it, wouldn't he? Or does he lose that challenge because he challenged earlier and lost that challenge?
It would have been reviewed anyway, no? The situation room review, regardless?
Yes, you would think so. And then just let it. I don't understand how you quickly say, like, this is so no goal, on what is not clearly obvious.
No, because everyone thought, oh, they're waving this off for a high stick because
Yeah.
it was a deflection and he's 5 feet away from the goalie at that point. No one's thinking, I certainly wasn't thinking goalie interference. They didn't say that on the broadcast until after, the ref turned his mic on.
Yeah. Look, even Nicholas, I just don't understand what goalie interference is. The lead goal looked like it was, and the goal that was waved off did not. What the hell or what the F? And the NHL needs to get this shit figured out.
And maybe that's the toughest part too, is because there's no consistency with goalie interference at all. Like there's no standard that's set, line in the sand. This is or this isn't, because it seems like you get similar situations game in and game out. And one game it could be a goal, and the next game maybe it won't, depending on the crew or the explanation or how it's called on the ice. It's just a really frustrating set of circumstances for the Islanders, and it cost them a point tonight. Yeah. And also it doesn't help because you gave Columbus 2 points. So it's a 1 point swing, I guess, technically, right? But
yeah,
still, it could have been 2 points for the Islanders, no points for Columbus, and what's a really tight race for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Just incredibly, incredibly frustrating stuff today.
It hits on multiple fronts, right? Not only do you lose that extra point, you give it to a rival who's chasing you in those standings, but you also lose that potential regulation win, which is the first tiebreaker in the NHL. And things are tight, as we all know, in the Eastern Conference. So you might not have to come down to tiebreakers at the end of the day, but you absolutely want that. And the Islanders desperately, any team desperately needs regulation wins. So you took all of that away on a call that you were in no way for sure. There was no way whatever goddamn ref, and I don't want to hear anything about Wes goddamn fucking McCauley. I'm so tired of, he's one of the greatest refs. He said fighting once and he was funny. Stop acting like he's the best ref ever.
He's not.
That one call cost the Islanders on so many goddamn fucking levels. It's ridiculous. Sorry. I don't try to swear, but I can't. I'm too pissed now.
This is how tight the race is, though. 75 points, Montreal in the second wildcard spot, Islanders 74, Rangers 74, and Columbus is right there at 73. That's a big difference. If the Islanders are sitting at 75 and Columbus is sitting at 71, that's a huge difference.
Right? That's a 4-point difference, plus that regulation win, putting them up to 26 ahead of Columbus, or they're at 25 anyways. You get some distance between these teams. I don't think they still jump into playoff position if they win today. Because I think Montreal's got the better points percentage, but still, it's friggin' close. I don't understand what the hell these refs were doing today. And it wasn't just that one call. The refs definitely cost the Islanders the game on this one call, but there were others during the game where you're saying, what the fuck are you guys smoking? That interference call on Adam Pelech, absolute horrible garbage.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So that was the big story from this one. We do have to break down the rest of this game because there are other things to talk about. And it actually started pretty well for the Islanders in this match. They played a really strong first period. Pierre Engvall would get the Islanders on the board at the 13-16 mark of the first period.
Forward Adam Boquist getting an assist here.
Nice play. Seriously.
50% of the production of that oh my God, Hudson Fasching was had by Adam Boquist in this game.
It's wild when you put it that way. But it was a nice pass, but not only the pass too. Him going this way and taking a defender with him opens up the space for Pierre Engvall to go in there and finish the play and score the goal.
Yeah, we talk about that even just the other day with Kyle McLean making that run towards the net, opening the space for Maxim Sipiklov to make the pass. We have to focus not only on the guys who pick up apples. Sure, he did in this situation, but there's more happening in this game that we need to pay attention to, because it's these hockey IQ plays, like him going towards the front of the net opens this possibility for Pierre Engvall to find this space in the slot and get it on net. It's just absolutely perfection from these guys.
Well, this Kyle Palmieri goal would count in the first period. We should pull this one up. Nice play from Bo Horvat, who's been playing out of his mind the last few games here. Gets it in the corner, and Palmieri just goes to the front of the net and scores.
Yeah, you see how he takes that wide. Everyone watching, look at how Palmieri takes it wide is before he goes into the slot, right? So again, dragging a player out of position. Here he goes. He's taking it wide. Watch, bait, cut in. Boom. Now he's got space right in the slot, dead center. fucking perfect. That's some cerebral level stuff from Kyle Palmieri.
Absolutely. So strong first period. Islanders are up 2-0,
Mm-hmm.
17-6 in shots. Just again, complete domination the first period.
Yeah.
Everything seems to go off the rails in the second. After
What
this.
the hell happened in the second period? Hands up. I was at band practice up until the 3/4 of the way through the second period, so I wasn't able to get peepers on it. But you look at the numbers here, and it's complete reversal. The Corsi's pretty much dead even. What the frig were they doing in that second period, man?
Nah, awful. The big story is obviously the controversial no goal at the end.
Yeah.
But the Islanders in a way did this to themselves with how they played in the second and third period of this game too. Like, I don't want to give the Islanders a complete pass for this. Like, it's frustrating. We're all upset with the loss, but they let Columbus hang around and should have put them away earlier. So let's start with the Adam Fantilli goal. He gets us started 5:31 into the second period. Mitch, not a great Noah Dobson game after he's been scoring a bunch. I don't know why he's giving Fantilli that much room.
I don't get it either. He was really bad today. And again, I didn't watch all of it. I wasn't here, but what I saw was really, really bad stuff from Noah Dobson outside of like one rush in the third period where he did well. But here, he's just not, he's giving him way too much space and respect. Why are you giving this kid too much respect? I get he was third, fourth overall when he was drafted. He's 19 years old, 20 maybe. Don't give him the respect. You're Noah fucking Dobson. Step up on him, man.
Refuse to. Absolutely refuse to. And unfortunately, it just gets worse for the Islanders here because they would get a power play opportunity for a delay of game. So Islanders catch a break. They're going on a power play, except it's not a break because their power play is god awful. And they just let Boone Jenner, who has now 2 goals on the season, scores just the absolutely ridiculous goal that it deflects off of Noah Dobson's skate, goes a different direction and over Ilya Sorokin. Yeah.
We've seen these so many times, right? They just shoot, bounces off of us and flutters over top or around Ilya Sorokin. And there's no fault of Sorokin. It's no fault of the defenseman. That's just what you're supposed to do. And it's just, they keep going in on us.
But there was no stick from Noah Dobson. Like, he was not pressuring him with his stick on this. He's sitting back and giving, and once again, giving room, giving space. Shot goes off the inside of his foot, takes a weird bounce, and then is going the opposite way that Sorokin's sliding, and it's in the back of the net. I did see a couple people blame Sorokin, be like, "Oh, the shot's 40 feet out. How could it go in the back of the net on a soft shot?" Can a defenseman step up one time and give a little bit of pressure to an oncoming rusher? Is that really too much to ask in a situation like this?
Yeah, and the shot is clearly coming through Noah Dobson, right? And it's taking deflection. So whatever he gets set for, it changes. And that stuff happens fast. When you get set, it's really hard to reset and then retrack and get back into position type of thing. Even if it's just a slight deflection, it's not easy, man. Try it. I do it at not this level, and I have a hard time.
No, it's really, really tough. And scores 2-2. The Islanders would get a goal from Anders Lee at the end of the period, 19-12. This one could have been goalie interference as well. It was challenged for goalie interference, but ruled not goalie interference because the contact happens outside of the crease.
Like, I understand precedence when it's game to game, right? Because when you don't have the same referee crew for different games, I understand how not everyone's going to have the same standard. But when the standard is set on the same goddamn game and then it changes later on, it's almost like they were trying to make up for the fact, like, no, that one should not have stood in our opinion, so we're going to take one off the goddamn board, is how the referees were acting in this one. I know it wasn't Wes McCall who made the call on the ice. It was the other one, whoever his name is, Francis Lécuyer, probably. But this one was a more, I thought if either of the two would come back, it'd be this one, because it really does seem like the path that Anders Lee takes him towards the goalie in a not flattering angle, like through the paint. But it counts, and rightfully so. But the next one doesn't, because of course not. Stupid friggin' penalty.
This league doesn't make sense. It really, this league makes zero sense. And they wonder why they have issues getting eyeballs. Have some goddamn consistency within your sport.
Yeah.
Please.
From James, I guess during the post game today, Patty was irate, said if Toronto is afraid to overturn the referee's call on the ice, then why do we even need them? Right?
Yeah, great point. Okay. We have the
Okay, let's listen to it.
So let's pull up the clip. That's what I was looking for, if there was any audio from it.
Yeah.
So let's go to Patrick Waugh here.
The end of the game, how did you see the goal being waved off?
I think I saw it the same way you guys saw it. I mean, Palmieri was out of the crease and we tipped it in, and I think their goalie pushed him away at the same time.
Yep.
So
This is coming from a goalie, by the way, former goalie.
that's how I see it. And if Toronto is afraid to overturn calls made by their referee, we don't need Toronto. That's all I would want to say.
The end of the game,
Yeah. He's not wrong at all, right? Like, that's the point of having Toronto there. It's not just like, hey, refs, can you look at that again and, try to overturn the call you already made? And apparently referees have no problem or have a problem doing so. Well, I watch the Premier League, and effectively that's what happens with VAR, right? They call the referee over to look at a monitor and say, hey, maybe you want to look at this again. This is what we're seeing. And then usually when the referee goes to the monitor after he's already made a call, it's because he's going to overturn it. And he does 90% of the time. This is like, what are we doing here? Hey, do you want to look at it again? No, I don't. I have conviction in my call. Well, then what the frig are we doing, man? Why do we have this?
Yeah, what's the point of them calling in the situation room review if it's not going to get overturned? That's a good point from Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, I get, like, as Brendan was explaining, that you're looking for conclusive evidence. I suppose, but like, the referees aren't saying goalie interference for sure, no goal, if they don't have something they think might have been. At that point, I don't think that justification makes sense anymore.
No,
it should be, is it or is it not? Not like, I guess that's effectively what they're doing, but they're looking for more clear evidence. Like, well, is it? Because if you're not sure, well, then it's not conclusive. So the call shouldn't stand either.
I don't know what else to say. I really don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, third period.
Right. We're back.
Shot 17-4. What did they think was going to happen with how they came out in this third period? What did they think was going to happen here? And eventually you would get a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Marchenko gets his 26th of the year. Right off a face-off.
We saw it coming. We knew it was coming.
100%.
Like, the Islanders had they called a timeout before this, a minute or two before this, because they couldn't figure out how to exit the zone. They couldn't put two passes together. And then this happens. They're just playing like a bunch of assholes.
If you didn't feel a tying goal coming on, you haven't watched this team long enough. Or even this season. Yeah. I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be a fan 40 years to know that a goal was coming. No. I'm talking like you haven't watched the previous 68 games that this team has played this year.
They could not get out of their own way at the end of the period. This is reverting back to early Islanders, right, where they couldn't hold a lead. They've been able to for the last couple of weeks, barring the last couple of games now.
Last two, yeah.
Yeah, this one here, obvious example here that they could not deal with whatever the Columbus Blue Jackets were putting out there late in the third period, and it cost them big time.
It did. So tied 3-3, goes to overtime. Each team has two shots on overtime, but not anything of really like,
no,
not a whole lot going on in overtime.
Well, at the end there, what the frig was Adam Pelech out there for? He was so bad.
Yeah, he was. Gave the puck away. Huge, rush the other way. Sorokin comes up with the stop, sends up Horvat for one last rush, but kind of last 26 seconds, all hell broke loose, pretty much.
Yeah. So like that one passage where we have Adam Pelech in the offensive zone in overtime. Yeah, not Pelech. But Bo Horvat is coming behind that. No, sorry. Palmieri is coming behind the net, and he's throwing it to the front to hit Bo Horvat, who's in the slot. There's no one better with an Islander jersey alone in the slot than Bo Horvat. But Adam Pelech, for whatever goddamn reason, thinks, you know what? I'm just going to cut across the net and follow Kyle Palmieri to the corner here. Gets in the way of the pass, breaks the other way, and he doesn't have the legs to follow it because, of course, he doesn't. He's Adam goddamn Pelech. What the frig were we doing? That was such a dumb move from Patrick Roy to have Adam Pelech in overtime. It made no sense.
It did make no sense. In the shootout, eventually, okay, so Adam Fantilli gets the game-winning goal in the shootout here. Anthony Duclair goes up first. He's his first guy to go up and just loses the puck. Even Brendan Burke. Did you hear Brendan Burke's call of that?
Yeah, he couldn't believe what he just saw.
Stunned. Too stunned to speak. Was Brendan Burke, a professional play-by-play announcer, too stunned to speak? That play pretty much personifies the year that Anthony Duclair has had with the New York Islanders.
Yeah, I want to bring. There was a comment earlier with Adam Duclair. I'm sorry if I miss it, guys. There are a lot. There it is. It's from Steve. Say what you want about Engvall and Fasching. Duclair is straight buns. It's not there, man.
Horrible.
But yeah, he whiffs on it. But you're like, okay, it's the first shot. Not even a shot, if you want to call it that. The first attempt, let's say, fails embarrassingly. We've still got 2 more to go, and the other 2 are almost just as bad, I would say.
Yeah, Palmieri can't get it to go, and Bo Horvat sends one a mile high.
But like they do this broken controller bullshit that just doesn't work in today's NHL, especially against a guy like Merzlikins, who, as Butchie pointed out, he comes way out. He's challenging hard on these shootouts, and so what they're trying to do is generate some speed and then kind of slow down, so he backs up a lot more, opening up space up top. But because he's so far out, he's already got the angle when you're doing that. It doesn't matter. And of course, they both sky it because they don't have the angle on Merzlikins because he was so aggressive. The fact that they aren't able to realize that in real time is baffling for someone making millions of dollars to do this friggin' game.
Yeah, after the first one, right? Yeah. I know Duclair loses the touch, but you saw it on the first one, how far he came out.
Yeah. Don't tell me you don't have the book on this. You've got a guy upstairs probably that's his entire job is figure out what these goalies are doing in the shootout in the event that you get there, and you do this. We deserve to lose that shootout. It made no sense. We have no one to make any sort of. None of these guys can do a forehand backhand. None. What are we doing here?
No, you get Franz Nielsen here in the offseason and just start teaching guys.
Yeah, like we have no shooters or only shooters. No one with hands on this team. Ridiculous.
No one has hands. Not a single one.
Yeah, and it's like from Chris, like we've been terrible in the shootout since Franz and Okposo left. You miss writings for us. I miss you writing for us as well, I suppose, but we're not in that business anymore.
Not writing video content nowadays.
That's right.
All right, let's do some more box score stuff. Then we'll get into the ice time. Shots on goal, 33-30. Face-off percentage, 55 to 45%. Another struggle night for the Islanders in the face-off dot. They're usually
Jenner was like 7-2 or something like that.
Yeah, he was very good. Columbus for most of this game was very, very good.
Yeah.
Power play 0 for 3 and gave up a shorthanded goal against. Columbus went 0 for 1 on the power play. 6 penalty minutes to the Islanders. 2 hits, 34-19, a ton of hits for Columbus. Block shots, pretty close, 18-17. Giveaways even at 10 apiece. Takeaways, Islanders had 2 to the Columbus Blue Jackets 1.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Oh, I'm not saying that we deserved to win by our overall play, but we deserved to win by just the fact that we had more goals.
Correct.
Lame. Okay. Leader of ice time, Bo Horvat.
21-24 for Bo Horvat. He leads by a pretty significant margin.
Yeah, makes sense. And plus overtime, he was out there quite a bit. Okay. Least amount of ice time, I assume, is someone on the fourth line. So I'm going to go with Gatcomb.
Not a bad guess. It's Kyle McLean at 10 minutes and 52 seconds. Siplikov, I thought, played well. He had 11:43, which was the third fewest. If you're on Pierre Engvall watch, 12 minutes and 11 seconds for Pierre Engvall.
Sense. Leader for ice time in terms of defensemen, it was Tony DeAngelo the other day. I'm going to go with him again.
26 minutes and 26 seconds for Tony DeAngelo.
Yeah. He had a few bad plays there, but I'm surprised he didn't get more ice time in overtime.
Me too.
I get that they were saying on the broadcast that they had 3 forwards out from the opening draw, did Columbus, and so they wanted a more defensive defenseman. Who cares? Win the fucking draw. You win it 60% of the time. You win it. You don't have to worry about defending. And who's better at skating than Tony DeAngelo on that defense outside of Noah Dobson,
Yeah, Mike Riley.
right?
That's
So
about it. There's only those 3 guys.
you got options. You don't have to play Adam Pelech in there, and it cost you really. It really did. I feel
I agree. Least amount of time.
least amount of time. Well, you're not going to get the least amount of praise here from Gary because he, like he's saying, hit the like and subscribe button. There are 68 people in here. Let's go, Gary. Thank you for that. Least amount of ice time for defensemen. I'm going to say it's Mike Riley.
11 minutes and 21 seconds. Adam Boquist technically is listed here as a
Right.
defenseman, even though he played forward. He played 15-27 and had 2 assists tonight. Good game for him.
That's got to be so embarrassing for Hudson Fasching. I understand he's sick, but like you have a guy who's playing out of position doing it better than you.
He matched his season point total in just this game as a forward. I know he has other points as a defenseman so far, but in his one game as a forward, he matched the ice time.
That's insane. That's so stupid, ridiculous. And Sorokin, how did he do?
Yeah, sorry. I was went back to Twitter. Sorokin, 27 of 30 for a 900 save percentage.
Yeah.
Don't think he was bad. Don't think he was great.
I thought he was pretty good. In that third period, he made a number of, when we knew the goal was about to come, he made a number of really, really good positional or just like tracking saves, knowing where to be and anticipating the play. So I thought he did well. That 900 is not generous enough.
No, I have more ill will towards Noah Dobson's play than Ilya Sorokin's today. In the goal, if we're looking at the goal department.
Right. Okay. Comments?
Yeah, let's close out with some comments.
Okay, we're not going to get to all of these guys. There are way too many. So I'm going to have to try to curate them as we go. But like Nick starting us off, like blatantly cheated. Simple as that.
I feel robbed. This is the most upset I've been about an Islanders loss in months. Like we talked about getting back into it with them in the playoff race. Losing this game is tough. It really stings.
Yeah. Maddie looking ahead. Maddie's one of our patrons, so shout out to one of the goats. Montreal is 1 point ahead and play St. Louis tomorrow. They should lose. St. Louis has been amazing. So Vancouver on Wednesday is a must win, according to him. I don't disagree.
No, I don't disagree either. Which it's not going to be an easy game against Vancouver.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like Vancouver's playing well. Atoratu is back in the lineup, so he's going to be playing up against us, which is going to be fun. Yeah, good times ahead. UL says, like I said, the league doesn't want our boring team in the playoffs.
I don't know about that. They always seem to find a way.
Yeah. What else do we got going on here? Yeah, some stuff about Wes, but to be fair, like Wes wasn't making that call. I did reference him because everyone brings up Wes McCauley. The fact that he was in this game and everyone's like, oh, Wes McCauley. Exactly. There's one funny thing and that's it. He's the best ref ever.
Yep.
What else? We got a lot, so I'm trying to read through them quickly enough to see which ones I want to talk about here. So Chris, again, Isles play hard, but we have a number of issues and lacking 2 top players in Barzal and traded away Brock. Again, miswriting for us, but yeah, losing those 2 guys is going to be rough. It has been. Yeah, has been. Yeah. Okay, from Max, my gut tells me over the summer, Duclair, Mayfield, and Engvall, though recently has become a maybe for him, will no longer be Islanders. Dobson and Palmieri are maybes for me being gone. What do you think about that? That's 5 players gone.
That is 5. I don't think Duclair is going to after 1 year. Even though he's played, like, this isn't me defending Anthony Duclair, but I just would be surprised on that one. Mayfield and Engvall seem like 2 more obvious ones. Palmieri, why wouldn't you trade Palmieri then if he's going to end up being gone? Dobson depends on what kind of trade package you're getting. I would put Peugeot on there instead of Dobson and Palmieri.
Andre agrees. I would put in order Mayfield 1, Engvall 2, Disson 3rd, Duclair. And it's just like you're saying, this is not me like Duclair needs to be here. It's just of the 3, I think Duclair has definitely been buns, as Steve said. He's not been good. Even Christopher saying Duclair is a bust this year. Absolutely. but I think they're going to be more patient with Duclair, seeing as how injury really derailed his season. Plus, it's a more manageable contract, right? It was only for 3 years, wasn't it, or was it 4? Doesn't matter.
It was a 4-year deal.
Yeah, Engvall and Mayfield, they're 7-year deals. They want to get out of those, and Mayfield has been a healthy scratch, right? So that's a clear indication to me, right there.
Yeah, that one seems obvious with the scratch there that he's going to be gone.
Yeah. Gary says, I got to watch the Isles feed. Corey Schneider has the charisma of a crossbar. He makes Clutterbuck look like gritty.
Yeah. There's a running joke at the O'Leary house. So whenever, which is quite often, my fiance Taylor watches a lot of games with me, and she hates anytime that Corey is on the broadcast, mostly just because she loves Thomas Hickey, which understandable. He's very good at his job. But every time she's like, oh, who's this? I can't stand when this guy's on. I'm like, yeah. Preach. You're preaching to the choir here, hon.
Yeah, it's been a while where you're past the stage of he's still doing the reps, right? It's just I don't feel it's there with Corey. It's great for between the periods type of thing. Have him on there, talk about goalie stuff for sure. That'd be great. But that's a more selfish thing. But I don't think he's got it.
I was gonna say the only time he is passable is when he is doing like goalie examples, like when they have him with the net and like either showing what happens on a deflection or what goalies do in a certain situation. Like that's the only time where it's passable. So have him for those segments. I don't need the pregame, the postgame, down on the in between the benches and during the period. No, thank you.
I think he's got a role in hockey, but it's not an on-camera role. Like this guy is clearly very smart. I know he was part of like the goalie council or whatever the hell they had it, like reshaping goalie equipment for the league. Basically like a union rep for goalies. He has a place in the sport at it, like almost like an executive level, I would say, but I don't think an on-air personality.
No, I'm surprised while on the topic of Clutter, and I'm surprised he hasn't been better, because that's someone who has always been talked about as like a great locker room guy and kind of like the fun guy in the locker room. And that doesn't really come across on camera yet.
Yeah. Maybe he's getting coached, like too coached, right? Where it's focusing on the staying straight and narrow instead of like having a little bit of your personality come in. Cause I'm with you. I thought when we were going to get Cal Clutterbuck, we were going to have some sort of Rick DiPietro-esque, not full Rick, but kind of Rick.
Yeah. Not full Rick, but a little bit more personality, kind of like where Hickey is now.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Kyle is trying hard to be something he isn't. I think that's it. He's trying to be too straight and narrow where he's got to have some fun.
Dude, that's not, I'm not saying go full Butch Goring or go full Thomas Hickey. Like they've kind of established what their personalities are, but you don't have to be the hair slicked back in a suit and tie all buttoned up. Like that's not who you are, man. Like roll up the sleeves, show off the forearm tattoos, and let's get after it, dude.
Get the handlebar back. What are we doing here? I don't understand why he doesn't have that right away.
That's Kyle's best look, by the way.
I totally agree. Steve, like Butch's verbal mess ups, loss of thoughts, and odd references alongside Brendan's professionalism and charisma is cinema. It absolutely is.
Yep, that makes the broadcast so great, is because you have Brendan is so good, like as a technical play-by-play guy, and has a great voice, and Butch is just so entrenched in Islanders culture. It works.
Absolutely, 100%. James here is talking about Engvall isn't going anywhere with that contract. Who would take him? You're right. We're not trading away. Yeah, we're not trading him away. It's a pure buyout. That's the only way he's gone. Same thing with Mayfield. We might be able to find a buyer on Mayfield, but it's probably going to be unlikely. So
I'm sorry I'm distracted because I'm still looking at all the reactions on Twitter. And I saw a great tweet saying the fact that the broadcast team thought the controversy was a high stick is pretty telling. Nobody has any clue what goaltender interference is.
No one has any idea. It makes no sense. I still can't believe, I know we're coming back there full circle, which makes sense because we're going to close out here. I still can't believe that the referee was like emphatically like, no goal. There's no way. As if like Kyle Palmier ran over Merzlikins and then we scored. I don't, that's not even close to what it was.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all we've got to. There are more comments, but we're here at 34 minutes and it's 11:15. I want to get to bed soon.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us on this one. Really frustrating end here. Next game is on Wednesday, so that means pod will get pushed back a day. So tune in for that. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel here. If you're not a Patreon member, sign up for the Patreon. You get 2 podcasts a week and a Discord of passionate Islanders fans. So make sure to check that out. But for now, I'm Matt. He's Mitch, and we'll catch you next time.